Daniel Tradesman, who speaks to the road train, Daniel Tradesman. Good evening everyone. Firstly, let me say thank you for letting me come here tonight, speaking to the esteemed members of the Victorian Taxi Council. I'm here tonight to talk about Get Melbourne Moving. I just want to tell you a little story the other day. I was invited up to Sydney by my counterpart to talk about how we can improve transportation between Melbourne and Sydney. There's lots of business travellers. As you're aware, there's 3,700 taxis in Melbourne. What my counterpart and lots of business leaders said in Sydney to me was, why isn't there a train link between the airport and the city? Most major cities around the world have a train link. I can hear you thinking now, what will that do to the taxi industry? Well, I'll tell you what it will do. It will improve the roads. I got a taxi the other day. It took me 2 hours to get from the airport to the city because of the traffic. We can take thousands of people off the roads by improving the transportation network, overland train from the city to Werribee out to the airport. We're going to improve the lives of the people out west and improve the speed to get into the city for our visitors. We've had recent surveys where we've asked lots of families, business leaders who come to Melbourne, what's the biggest gripe? What could we improve? 37% of those people have asked for a train link. Now, the Economist always puts Melbourne up there in one of the best places to live around the world. But where we get downgraded in those marks is the transportation between the airport and the city. I want to tell you another little story. I spoke to John. John's the CEO of a major corporation in New South Wales. He flies down twice a week to Melbourne. When he flies down, he always takes a taxi. Would John take a train? No, he won't. He's not going to do that. He's a businessman. He's not worried about saving 10, 20 bucks. He still needs you and all your colleagues to get him to the city the fastest way possible. Now, by taking away traffic off the roads, it's going to improve your livelihoods and a lot of your members' livelihoods. As you know, I'm helping you today by getting rid of the majority of the barriers. I'm getting rid of 50 road crossing barriers across Victoria. Some of the worst barriers for crashes, disruptions. If the signals go down, guess what? You're stuck at the barrier, your passengers in the back, not very happy, you may lose a fare. I promise you today, I will help you in your fight against Uber. Uber, as you know, are operating illegally in Victoria. What my government and I will do, we will regulate Uber and we'll ensure they pay the right taxes and give you parity with them. I hear a lot of people complaining about Uber, and yes, it's illegal, but why are they there? They're disrupting the marketplace. They're disrupting the marketplace because there's a need. And that need is to improve the taxis in Victoria. And that's my aim tonight, to ask you to vote on the rail link. Because I promise you it will improve the infrastructure. I'm speaking to my counterpart in Sydney. I asked him what happened when Sydney introduced their rail link. He told me that the taxi industry rates have improved by 20% in the first 5 years. And that was compounded year on year. What does that mean? Well, basically it means that they reduce the traffic. Now, Sydney isn't probably the best layout. We live in one of the best cities in the world, and our planners are very good at planning, but unfortunately we've got 95,000 people coming to our city every year. So we need to do something. And that's why I'm here tonight, to ask you for your support. So think about when you first came here, or when you were born and growing up. We used to drive along the freeway. It's a lot easier. I hear every night rush hour. It's an absolute nightmare. And I know the surveys we've had in recent times with the Victorian Taxi Council, asking myself and my colleagues in the transport section, what are we doing? Well, this is what we need to do. We need to ask the federal government for the money to invest. I've already got $500 million put aside with our transport fund. Asking lots of business leaders to help support that, and the Prime Minister. One of the biggest hurdles is overcoming, I suppose, the fear. Now, everybody fears change. I fear change, and we're doing the right thing. Based on the surveys and the statistics, and looking at Brisbane, Sydney and London, we need to improve this link. How quickly can we do this? We can do it very quickly. Now you can build a train link within 4 years. I'm quite fortunate we do have the land available. As you may have seen in the press in recent times, the overland rail lines, we're not going to go underground, we're going to go overground. So, one of the major factors in this is improving the lifestyle of everybody who lives in Victoria and our visitors. I heard a lady by the name of Mary the other day and her husband John mentioning they couldn't get a taxi anywhere because the traffic was all jammed up, so they had to walk 2 kilometres to get from Flinders all the way down to Docklands. They should be doing that. And the city should be open for taxis. Looking at actually having taxi clearways to improve the city roads as well. So I'm here tonight to ask for your votes and your members to work with our government and to help us work together to get this link built to improve everyone's lives. Thank you very much. We have 2 minutes to answer questions.
How many people are going to lose their homes if the train line goes through?
That's an excellent question, Deborah. Minimum number, because we're actually looking at going overland. We do have a lot of pre-purchased land. Current number will be less than 100 homes.
Most people think that going elevated trains is an eyesore. How much more would it cost to go underground?
Recent statistics and evaluations are at least double. So,
yeah, well, I would rather do sections of it and go the double, you know, because you're just going to upset a lot of people.
I hear you. I think at the moment, with the federal government only willing to offer $1 billion, they need to be mindful. Obviously, it takes a lot longer to actually build.
Well, I'd rather not have it at all. Do it properly or don't do it at all.
Thank you very much.
You keep to stand there and say that you're going to do something about Uber. How many years has it been? It's been 3 years now since Uber started here. What possible chance do you have of doing anything about it? We are losing, the taxi drivers are losing big money from what you're talking about. And you just crap it on there. I don't want to go to Uber.
Thank you for that question. I am tabling a report with my fellow ministers regarding Uber. As I mentioned, it is illegal at the moment. I have spoken to the police commissioner and there will be an announcement next week. Thank you.
Can you guarantee to us more people might use that. Can you guarantee that we'll still have our business? Because what if everyone gets the train and not
No.
taxi?
Nobody will get a train. Going back to Brisbane and to Sydney and to London, it's still a big market for people willing to jump on a train, but more business people still get the...
How can you guarantee that it's going to be such a super duper sky rail?
There's no guarantees in this life, but what I can assure you, based on previous experience and data, there's lots of willing people. I know myself, my family, we get lots of taxis.
Yeah, all you seem to be able to guarantee is that our licenses get worth less and less. You know, I bought mine for $250,000, but it's only worth $75,000 now. How are you going to help me with that?
Fantastic question. Again, part of that report is looking at ways of reducing the tax to come for the taxis, and that's a massive area of focus. Thank you. Sorry, yep, I do have to go, my plane is waiting.